guys, how's it going? So I don't know exactly when this video is gonna go up, but it is the last day of July. It is supposed to be 105 degrees today, and guess what we're doing?
Planting trees.
Yes, we are planting trees. What a great idea in the middle of summer. So I know. So this is not recommended. It's best to plant trees in the cool of the spring or 6 weeks before your last frost in the fall. But I figure, you know what, as long as we can keep them wet enough during the summer. I mean, we planted all these arborvitaes when it was 104 last summer, and they struggled a little bit, but they
look good now.
They look great now. So I figured they're gonna be better off in the ground as opposed to their black nursery cans that are soaking in the heat and they're having to water them all the time. So let me show you the area where they're going. So you might recognize the west side of our house. This is the area we're gonna start really developing down on this side. I thought we were gonna do it this year, but other things came up. So we have our first red point maple right there. And what I wanna do, let me back all the way up. There's the red point, there's our garden. I wanna plant 3 more along here. We had to have this willow removed because it was leaning sideways after a really bad windstorm, and it was kind of a danger and not good to have right by a driveway. This willow is going to come out because I don't want the same thing to happen with that, and it will eventually. And that's what willows do around here. So we're gonna plant 3 more red points right along here to kind of create a really nice look along this driveway. So we are gonna run down to the garden center to pick up the trees first. So this is what we use in the nursery to pick up trees. This kind of like glorified dolly here. It works really nice. So this is one of them right here. I don't know if you can see that tag, but that's the fall color. Really, really pretty. They're a zone 5, grow 45 by 30. They're not bothered by any insect that I'm familiar with here, and they don't get bothered by disease either. So they're one of those wonderful trees. They also seem to color up earlier in the fall than all the rest of the maples, and they drop their leaves all in about the same week. So it's one cleanup. Oh, that one's gonna be less expensive. It's in a smaller can.
Well, I want that.
Yeah. Wait. No, let's take that one. I don't want this little skimpy one when there's a big one. Yeah. Tree number 3. I got all 3 of them in the back of the truck, so now I'm gonna put the cans right up as close as I can to the front of the bed here, and we're gonna lay them all down. That's how they travel the best, especially when they have leaves on them, so that the wind like kind of travels with the tree instead of against it, so that we don't damage the foliage. But we're only like 5 minutes away from home, so it's not that big a deal. So we're just gonna slide them. They should all ride pretty good. See, check that out. This looks funny though. We have kind of a short bed in our truck, so it's mostly tree. Like the whole canopy is sticking out the back. Before we leave, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on how the downtown containers are doing. They're looking so amazing. I love how they've grown this year, and I love the mix of plants. So of course we have an Alberta spruce in the center, and then surrounding it we've got Supertunia Bordeaux, Supertunia Royal Magenta, and Supertunia Vista Silverberry. And I think the reason why this mix is just so perfect is that last year we had Supertunia Bubblegum in here, and Bubblegum is so vigorous that it wants to kind of take over wherever it's at, which is good in some cases, and it was really pretty. But it's nice to be able to see all the individual colors here this year. They're all very distinct. Anyway, just thought you guys might enjoy seeing what they look like at the end of July. Well, looks like they rode pretty good, so now we unload. That's roughly 25 feet. So these grow 30 feet on center, which means if you look at this center, no, 15 foot on center. They go 30 feet wide, but if you look at the tree from the center, it goes 15 feet out each way. So we want to place them actually about 25 feet apart from each other. That way their branches will kind of overlap at maturity, which will be perfect. And then this one kind of runs into the locust, but that's actually good. I'm excited about that because it'll actually be bumped out. It'll be planted approximately right here. So it'll take a while, but it'll create like an arch, which I think is going to be really pretty. One of these equals roughly 3 feet. 3, 6, That one's good. This is 25. We got off. So we got 3 of them, and I had 4 of them tagged, and I thought I only needed 3, but we actually need 4. So I called down there already and had them re-tag that 4th one for me so we could go down and get it later. So the last one will go approximately right here. So we'll have 5 trees right in a row. At maturity, the tree should only reach about right here, which is perfect. So it's not gonna shade or like be in the way of the vegetable garden at all, which I love.
This is probably dumb, but we put a string, attached it to the fence. The problem is that our grass line is not exactly parallel to the fence line. So it's actually, there's a shorter distance from this point to the fence than there is from that point to the fence. So because of that, we ran a string so we could see exactly where the trees need to go. And I think eventually we'll probably cut out just a little bit of grass along the driveway and kind of extend the rocks out just a little bit, just so it's plumb.
So today actually feels like a gift. Like the breeze has started to pick up, it's overcast. And so it doesn't feel like it's going to get 105, which bodes well for our trees. So Aaron just went and grabbed a couple of shovels, and then this is where we're gonna start. So I'm gonna be adding gypsum to each hole. That helps break up hardpan or clay. And then I'll also be adding biotone, which I always do. We're also gonna be trying out this Gorilla cart. We're gonna be putting all the extra dirt that we have when we're digging this hole into that cart, because it has like a dumping feature. Yeah. To where like you can easily.
It also hooks up to the.
Oh yeah, it
too.
Hooks up there, so we don't have to pull it anywhere, which is really nice.
Try it out.
So I think we've got the hole big enough. So now I'm going to add a little bit of biotone and gypsum to the bottom and just kind of rough it in with my fingers. And then we will get actually the hose, we'll drag the hose over here and fill the hole about halfway and introduce the tree root ball into a nice wet environment, and that'll help with any transplant shock. I don't even measure it anymore, I just kind of pour it in. So I scored the root ball with my box cutter, just like every 6 or 8 inches or so, just to break up that root memory toward the bottom. And then I ran it across the bottom here too, just to kind of loosen up the roots just a tiny bit. So we're ready. Nice.
We probably didn't dig our hole quite deep enough.
Well, it's pretty good because right here we're at perfect soil level, which is kind of what I want. I tend to prefer going slightly above grade rather than below grade, because I don't want water running in and settling at the base of the trunk. That's bad for the tree. So I'd rather it be slightly up, and we're kind of right at level here. So I think we're just about perfect. So we're just going to pack some of the native soil that we dug out of this hole in the beginning around the root ball. Okay, so I think that this one is almost done. What we're gonna do is let this one have a chance to settle, like let that water have a chance to soak into the root ball and for the whole thing to settle in. But we're gonna go plant the other 2, and then we'll come back in and we'll really like step down on that soil and make sure that it's really packed in tightly. But it turned out perfectly, and I created just kind of like a small well around the tree so that it'd make it easier to deep soak it, so I can put a slow hose on it, you know, throughout the rest of this summer. It is gonna get watered with sprinkler water, but that's probably not enough to soak down really deep, and that's what we wanna do, especially this first season. So we're gonna move on to the next couple.
Okay, Laura has never tried to hook this up before.
Easy.
So we'll see if she can figure it out.
Does this come out? Yeah. Right? Oh. I don't know how I'm gonna get it close enough. There we go. There. You forget how many water tanks and stuff like that I've hooked up in my day. There. Alright guys, so we're actually done. I went down to the garden center after we planted the first 3 trees after deciding that we did need that 4th one, and I really just wanted to get the whole project done today since I had everything out and I had Aaron's help out here to dig all of the holes, which was so nice. So let me turn the camera on and show you what it looks like. So I don't know how well you can see it, but there's the first one right there, which is perfect. That's right where that globe willow came out. So this will create some really nice shade right there. And then the other 3, of course there's one right here. We've decided to leave the globe willow just because they're not competing for space yet. We'll probably leave that this year, maybe next year, just because it is creating some shade and cool temperatures over on this side until these need a little bit more room. There's the 3rd. And then there is the 4th, which we actually only damaged 2 pumpkin leaves to plant that tree. Kind of proud of us for that. So that one will eventually kind of meet this locust tree, which we'll trim up a little bit. But I just kind of want all of these trees to create an arch over the driveway. And then there's that first one that we had planted this spring. So anyway, I think it looks really nice. I'm really looking forward to see how they grow. Real quick, I saved one of the red point maple tree tags so I could show it to you. Let me find it here. It's one of my favorite maple trees because I actually planted 2 of them in our old place, our old garden, and they did so well. I had such good success with them, and there's a few things I really love about them. First off, they're not prone to any insect or disease, so I don't have to apply chemicals or spray or anything. Never had to worry about any of that, which I need those kinds of things in my garden. I don't want to knowingly plant stuff that I know is going to have problems and that I'm going to have to be kind of a slave to maintenance on that. Also, they seem to color up earlier in our area anyway, earlier than all the rest of the maples, so you get to enjoy kind of that color show a little bit earlier and longer. And they seem to drop all of their leaves all in the same week. So one cleanup. You're not out there, you know, week after week cleaning up all of these leaves. Like we have a row of oak trees that are horrible. They actually hold all their leaves through the winter. They turn brown, they stay on the tree, and then the new spring growth pushes out the old leaves. So it's not only a fall mess, it's like a spring, like a 2-month spring mess. I hate those trees. So I just love the fact that these just have so much going for them. And you know, we have kind of a harsh climate. I do think it got up to 105 today. In fact, I'm like, whoo, sweating. The sun did come out, but we got these planted when it was still overcast and nice out. So I'm really thankful for that. But I'll be keeping these on a slow hose. So probably every other day I'll go put a slow hose on each root ball, let it run for like an hour, and let that just really saturate the soil around them until it starts to cool off a little bit. I did want to point out quickly that when we did our initial videos of this area, when we removed the 2 elm trees that were on this side of the property, we got some flack. We had some negative comments about that because we were removing trees, and I know that it's really hard to see a seemingly healthy tree being taken down, but those trees, like I explained in those videos, were diseased and they were dropping big branches, and that's scary, and I don't want that around our driveway area, especially where people are walking and parking their cars. It's not good to have a hazardous tree around. Plus, I don't want it spreading, you know, stuff anywhere else in my garden. And I kind of wanted to point out that we've planted 77 trees in place of those 2 that we had removed. Well, I guess 3 because we had to have the willow taken out for obvious reasons. So we planted 65 evergreens and 12 large shade trees. So I think we're doing our part to keep the world green. Anyway, I know that a lot of you guys who are watching our videos are not the people who got kind of upset about that. I'm assuming that those people didn't stick around for our videos, which is totally fine. You guys are like some of the most lovely people that I have ever met virtually online. It's been so fun to create relationships with you guys and just see all of the conversations that go on in the just comment section. It's so fun. It's just like everybody's connecting and just sharing their gardening wisdom and experience, and that's what it's all about. So anyway, wanted to point that out. And then also I thought I would address the cart that I used today. Let me turn it around. Okay, wait, before I talk a little bit about the cart, I forgot to show you the tag. So I'm gonna hover on it really quickly so you can pause if you wanna read up on it. So they grow 45 by 30 and they're a zone 5. Look at that beautiful fall color. That's what they look like right now, but their stems are red. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Turn it around. A little bit more information, redpointmaple.com if you wanna read up a little bit more. We get these from Schmidt Trees, J.F. Schmidt. So anyway, there you go. So the cart here worked really well. We attached it to the back of the lawn tractor. So it's kind of hard because I have experience with the John Deere trailer, which you can back up. It's really easy to back up. This one is extremely hard to back up. Aaron actually had to direct it. He kind of pulled from the back end while I was backing it up. Otherwise, you jackknife it super easy. That could just be user error. I do like the fact that you can use this either on or off a trailer. So you know you've got the handle here, so it's more versatile that way. The plastic is a little bit flimsier than I'm used to on the John Deere, but I honestly don't think that that really matters that much. It pulls really nice and easy because I was pulling it by its handle when it was full of dirt while it was still on the grass and not attached to the trailer yet, or the tractor yet, and it was easy to move. So yeah, I think for the price, oh yeah, so the price, like this one, of course the plastic is way thicker. You can back it up when it's on the trailer, it is bigger. This one has the handle, so it's a little bit more versatile, but it is a little bit cheaper made, but it's about half the cost. So I think we're not really comparing apples to apples here. I think for the price, this is a good buy. That's just with one time using it, you guys, though. So I mean, I guess I need to put it through the rigors, but it did get quite a workout today. So that's it for today's video, you guys. That kind of took up a good portion of the morning. So now I need to get behind a hose and water. I'll be watering for probably the next hour, hour and a half. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with us today, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.